I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Garden City DDA today, Tuesday, August 20th at 6 p.m. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, can we take the roll?
Chair Stabley.
Here.
Mayor Jacobs.
Here.
Dr. Hyder. So we're waiting. Trustee Clark. Trustee Walker.
Here.
Trustee Barry. Usually is a little late. Trustee Baydoun.
Here.
Trustee Walconis.
Here.
Trustee Bazzi asked to be excused. Trustee Nasruddin. We're waiting for him also, right? So you do have a quorum with 6 members present.
Okay, next we will move on to the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Do we have support?
Support.
Support from Walconis. And all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 6-0, and we will change to having 7 members present.
Hi. Thank you.
Okay. Next, we'll move on. Are there any presentations?
No.
Okay. Community events. Nothing?
I don't have anything for that
Okay.
either.
All right, now we'll move on to public comments for agenda items only. Anyone wishing to speak? Okay, hearing none. We'll move on to items for consideration. And first is the consent agenda. Oh, we have Dr. Hyder. Hello. So we'll move up
Hi
to
there.
8 in attendance now.
Thank you.
Okay. So consent agenda, do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Okay, we'll call Jacobs moved and support
Support.
from Alex.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 8-0. Next, action items. We have the Santa Land Parade sponsorship.
Hi, good evening, Board. Tonight we have before us the Santa Land Parade sponsorship, and I know Dan was going to just give us a little overview of the event. He is. You were ready to talk last month, or the last meeting. So I know you're never short on words, Dan. But he wants to just give a little rundown of the request before you to be the title sponsorship for the Santa Land Parade. I know it's still nice out, but the holidays are coming. So thank you, Dan.
All right. Well, this is the same proposal that has been in front of the DDA for the last several years now. The DDA has been the title sponsor of the Santa Land Parade for over 10 years now, actually 14, I believe. And this is for the same proposal that we had, or for the same agreement that we just that just expired, 2 years at $9,000 each year for the title sponsorship of the parade.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to sponsor the Santa Land Parade for $9,000
For 2.
2 years, right?
for 2 years. Yes.
Okay, do we have support?
Support.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 8-0.
Thank you.
Next, we have the 2025 Hometown Hero banners.
Yes. Again, good evening again. This is to make a request for the 2025 Hometown Hero banners. I just want to, let the board know that last year, well, actually this year, was a great success, and we had a lot of interest, so much so that I've been taking a waiting list for 2025, and we're already up to 19 on the waiting list for 2025. We've had the caveat, it's not been approved yet by the board, but I'm hoping that you do support the sponsorship of this. It was well received, and we've received many compliments from passerbys, business owners, and residents regarding that. It will be the same program. We have 40 banners this year. We're going to see if we can add a couple more. We didn't spend the full $5,000, so if we add a couple more poles, it won't go over the $5,000 budget at this time. So at least a minimum of 40, and then we're looking at a couple other poles to add the banner arms on so we can add a couple more spots. We also had to move a couple that were kind of in front of trees and things like that, so we did move a couple in this year's program. But I would like to ask the board for support for next year, and then we'll start marketing it. I put together the application is in your packet so that you see the information that we ask, so that we have all the information and we're able to get the picture, good image of a picture, and then the information on either the veteran or the current person serving in the military. So,
Can I make a comment?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to make the comment that several communities across America are doing this banner program, and I can tell you, working with veterans, it's well received, and I think it's very patriotic for a city to honor their veterans like that. So I think it's a great thing, and I'll make the motion for 2025 banner program for $5,000.
I'll support that.
Okay. I have a quick question, though. Matt, we're calling this 2025. We did this last November, right? We got them up before Veterans Day?
no, we got them up from Memorial Day
Memorial Day.
through
Okay.
Veterans Day
Okay,
for
that's
2024.
right. All right. Okay. So that
And
will
to
run.
piggyback off what Randy said, I know the American Legion, all the veterans down there are really happy with the program. They think it's awesome.
All right, so we have a motion and support, so we can take a vote. All those in favor of the $5,000 for 2025? Aye.
Aye.
Nay. Motion passes 8-0. Next, we're moving on to the Chili Cook-Off Community Festival. First up, we have the festival flyer
Yes.
that we have here.
And we do have, Zach and John kind of worked on just a little program to showcase all of the work that's been done regarding the community festival and what's coming up. So if you want to, I think it will be on the screen. Is that? Yep, there it is. Okay, good. So if you want to just, John will walk you through all of that.
Good evening, Board and general public. So this is just a rundown of what's been done, where we're at with the event, September 7th. Slide number 1 talks about the date and then the times of the activities. So we have the open houses that will be done at Garden City Fire Department and Police Department on the same day from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. The beer tent time, chili tent, live music that's happening inside the beer tent, and then the awards are at 4 p.m. for the chili teams. The next slide shows a breakdown of the entire schedule, activities, times, and the location. So everything that's happening in the downtown is listed on here. Everything from over here at City Hall to down the street. You also have this in your packet so you can read it or look at it more extensively. Teams that are doing chili so far are listed, and their chili name, their team names and their chili name. So some returns, and I think we have one new team
So
maybe
there's a
out of that
total of
group.
16 currently?
No,
No,
8.
8?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
It's the
Oh,
name
I
and the
see.
chili name. They changed the name a
Okay.
little bit for the
I see.
chili name. Mhm.
So
How many
8.
do we typically have?
I think we had 12 last year.
Okay.
11 or 12, so
Some
we're trying to
last
double
minute?
this. Yeah, we're trying to double this number.
Okay.
Sponsorships are included on the next page. Spicy Partners and Smoking Hot Partners would be like a title sponsor. So these people have committed to be sponsors, and we have some more that are rolling in, but not recorded yet. The next is a screenshot of the website for the downtown. These are charities that have registered so far to be included in what we would say donations from volunteer hours. So Garden City Hockey Association, Friends of the Garden City Historical Museum, Garden City Community Coalition, Haven of Love, Needy Family Fund, and Our Home Pantry have all registered their C3s as eligible for, you know, if you came and worked for 2 hours, we would donate that money back to you, whatever one of those that you requested. There is a live application on the website, so if there's other charities that want to participate, they can just fill that out, and we'll add them to this list. These are applications, rules, registrations for chili teams, and these are live on the website and being distributed. The next one is everything to do with the merchants or the vendors. So we have certain vendors that we ask to participate to sell their goods and products to participate and attract more attention. Food vendors application as well, and then sponsorship application as well. The bands that are set to play on September 7th and the times associated: Bonnie and the Working Girls at noon to 1:30, a band called Hear Me Out from 2 to 4, the Incurables from 5 to 7:30, and Maybe June from 8 to 10 p.m. The volunteer schedule is as such. I know this is a really busy sheet, but basically this designates all the locations and the job duties that we're trying to fill with volunteers. We're still looking for volunteers, and what happens is you can go online on the website, gardencitymi.org, and register, and the total number of hours that we've allotted for is 242 and a half hours if every spot is filled. And we're still working on and looking for more volunteers. I had to do an application with Garden City Fire Department. They approved us. City Council approved for the liquor license, and the state of Michigan, the special licenses came back already, so that's all set. This is a layout of the city hall for the open houses that have to do with DPW, the fire, and police.
Is Santu running the wagon back and forth?
He is not currently.
People just got to walk back?
We're working on alternate transportation right now. We had something set up last year, but it wasn't really conducive to adults. So we're trying to get something that's a little bit more better for the family.
So there's a shuttle that's running from like the high school over to the event?
That's
Yes,
correct.
From Macon Transit,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, we have 2 Macon Transit shuttles that are shuttling people to parking at the high school down to the event.
Can the shuttle accommodate a stop over at, you know, City Hall for people, like if they're going back and forth? Could we utilize that?
Yeah, but Central's closed, a portion of Central's closed there, so we don't know how to get the vehicle in and out, because there's so many pedestrians there also.
What about?
Where
in
does the
lot?
bus, I'm sorry, where does the shuttle pick up and drop off then? Goes to the high school, and then how's it get down to,
Is it like
I-
the,
doesn't it go down Central?
It goes down Central to kind of the back of the police station in general. Yeah.
That would be a good spot to drop them off. They could walk. Police and fire station right there. We'll have to check with Nankin.
Yes, okay.
okay.
This is a picture of the rock wall with the bouncers that's coming.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, for, you know, kids' activities. S&B Porter Rentals is working on our tents. We reached out to other tent rental companies, and either A, they couldn't accommodate the day, or B, they couldn't accommodate the number of tents that we needed.
Who would, the liability for that rock wall is on the people that we rent from or on us?
That, we have an insurance waiver liability set up for what we have to do, and they also have their own,
for that.
yeah. Sanitation company has been doing a great job for us with the Lucky Squirrels and other events in town, so There's a quote in there for them. There's also a list involved in there for Westside Beer, for the beer list, and they supply not only the beer, but a cooling trailer with taps on it to serve it. So that'll be set up for the beer tent. And that's what you have. Questions before we go into the list on the agenda?
We're budgeted for this, for under our events, right, that we budgeted?
Yes, for
earlier?
community promotions, yes.
Okay. All right, so.
Good work.
Thank you.
So I think the next item we have to take a vote on is the entertainment agreement, which is
Yes.
the 8B3
Three,
exhibit.
yes. So we have 4 agreements, but we don't have an amount that we've agreed upon for the payment to each of the bands. And I wanted to see, and the mayor hopefully can add to what I'm going to say. We have 3 bands, and we do need to pay them something to provide the service for us.
There's 4.
Oh, I'm sorry.
4 bands.
Sorry. If I could count. I've always said math isn't my strong suit, and I'm doing a lot of municipal finance right now, so don't be worried. But we have 4, and so I wanted to put this before the board to come up with an agreement of what the bands should be paid. And I really don't have kind of a litmus test of what would be acceptable to the bands. And, right, hi, Mr. Berry.
Hey, sorry.
Hi, yeah, thank you. And
Make a comment.
and I don't know, the mayor's been working with the bands.
In the past, they've paid $1,000 to one band, and then the other bands received nothing. Most of these bands didn't require or request any money, but I figured since we did $1,000 in years past, I thought it would be fair if we did $300 a band this year, which would raise $200, cost us $200 more than what we've done in previous years. And that way, everybody got paid.
Music in the Park last week, they had a 4-member band. They got $1,000, and they played for 3 hours, 6 to 9. Now, are these all playing the same amount of time? Because I think one of them is 2.5 hours, the other ones were 2 hours. You may want to look at the playing time, but, you know, if you want to go with 300 with all of them, that's fine, but Music in the Park paid $1,000 for a 4-member band that played for 3 hours.
Right, I don't know how many members are in all the bands. We're just looking at 4 bands. They're all playing right around an hour and a half each. So at $300, it's probably under what they would charge for a, if they went to a bar or any kind of concert thing like Music in the Park. So, but they're willing, as far as I know, that they would do it for the $300 each.
So it's across the board, 300 each, it's not 1,000?
Correct.
Okay.
No, it'd be a total of $1,200. In the past, we paid one band $1,000.
Is one of the bands that in the past that we paid them 1,000 going to be part of?
No,
Okay. And usually they don't demand money for this?
yeah, they're doing it more for charity. They're all local bands, so they know a lot of people. They're looking just to come out and entertain Garden City people. Yeah, most of them are, 3 of them are well-known around this area. One is a new band that is, I believe they have 1 or 2 musicians that are in the Incurables. So 2 of them are kind of intertwined, so.
Okay, so do we have a motion?
I'll put the motion to grant 300 per band member.
I'll support that.
Not per band member,
Per band.
Per band, sorry. Per band.
And that's it, we're done, broke.
Okay.
Or unless
So,
the board wants to feel generous, and how many per board member? I mean, what's
Reach
enough?
deep,
you'll all
reach deep in those
sponsor.
pockets.
okay,
Okay.
so we have a motion and support. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 9-0 for $300 per band.
Who supported that?
Nazardine, Dr. Nazardine. Okay, next item that requires our vote is the volunteer schedule.
The schedule is before you to highlight kind of the amount of hours that we are going to exchange for service regarding the volunteers that are before us. So the total, we've kind of set before us kind of an hourly rate of $15 per hour that people will earn for a charitable organization in the community. So they will earn that, and then in turn, we will pay them for their service, but it will really be for their service organization. In the past, we haven't done a full breakout like this, but we have opened it up to any charitable organization in the community that wants to volunteer for it. And so we had requests to do that, to open it up so that other organizations had opportunities to receive some benefit from the event, but it's really for their charitable organization. We can't really pay them, but they're working in turn receiving that revenue for their charitable organization.
So I'm sorry, Matt, I have a question. So if individuals want to volunteer their time, can they designate
Yes.
still their hours to any of those organizations,
Yes.
local, that we want to support?
Yes.
Okay.
So-
All right.
So that's a total, of what we've got proposed is 3750 is kind of the max. So, and again, if we don't, we need volunteers and we want to support all of the organizations in the community. We hope that we can fill all those spots and then we'll be able to support the organizations with that. But if we go under, of course, we wouldn't have people that are volunteering, but we put kind of the max that is necessary that the board would have to approve, so kind of without going over the cost.
So if we don't get as many volunteers as we would expect or need, what do we consider maybe bumping up? Because if they're working maybe extended hours over, what's slotted here, maybe we,
Well, we
You know,
have,
I would think
Can we give
I would think
ourselves a range?
$15 an hour to whatever charity they want is fair.
okay?
and on the grid, you see that we need one person. But, I hope that one person will maybe work the 4 hours or something like that, so it'll be really just one person for the 4, something like that. So it's kind of the breakout that we did, so.
Okay. All right, do we have a motion?
Well, just a question first. Where do we stand with volunteers? Because when I looked there were only a few that had volunteers. We're not that far away from this chili cook-off.
I know, that's why, we've said, John said, I said, we need volunteers, and anybody that wants to volunteer, please do so. So we're really trying to garner support from the volunteer organizations. We're going to reach out again to all of them to see what we can do. I know the Needy Family Fund at City Hall are, some city employees are going to be volunteering for that. The food pantry always gets some, it's hard to get volunteers to volunteer, but then it's hard to get them to get moving. So we do need them, and we're hoping that we can pull this off.
Well, you said you were contacted, that people reached out to have their organizations benefit from this. Who reached out to you?
Well, I know that Haven has. I don't know who else did it.
The Garden City Hockey Association, the Friends of the Historical Museum, the Community Coalition, Haven of Love Rescue, Needy Family Fund, and the Home Pantry. Our home pantry, yeah.
But I'm still, there's been discussion about Goodfellows, also Kiwanis, Rotary. Those are big organizations that we'd be, the Lions also, I did talk to them. Anyways, those are big organizations that we want to be able to support, so.
So something else changed this year that was never addressed, and that is the DDA had the chili cook-off till 5 o'clock, and now I understand that now the DDA has it till 10 o'clock.
Yes, that is correct.
That was kind of, how do I put it? Well, new and unmentioned, right? Not mentioned to anybody here? Like, I guess I found out by asking around, well,
You know, it
just
was-
wondering, as a board
correct.
member, like, why weren't we told?
We haven't had a meeting in 3 months, 2 months. So the DDA pays for everything, so that is what the people that were in charge that have done it in the past decided, that the DDA pays for everything. We'll have volunteers, everybody's available or welcome to come make volunteer money. But why would the DDA pay for everything so one organization can make all the money without any overhead? Because we're paying for it.
So that was something that we were going to vote on, that you had brought up 2 weeks ago at a city council meeting. And clearly, it's already been decided on, so how does that work?
No, I said the good fellows were not excluded. They can come in and work all the hours they want.
What do we do if we don't have the volunteers then?
Correct, we're gonna,
Question.
it is a good question, so we're gonna all be working real hard, the ones that'll be there, the staff. So, again, we're asking for volunteers, we need volunteers. Board members, if you have people that are interested, please contact me. So the next couple weeks, or the next week, we're really going to be hammering our volunteers to volunteer for their organizations. So it's a concern, it is a concern. And it's a big task for us to pull off, so we're hoping we successfully can do it.
Yeah, because
We've been working hard, as you can see from all of the information that's before you. It is a change from each year. This is the first year that a city staff member is overseeing the DDA, and so it's a change. We're hoping that we put this together this year, all the events, the flyers, all of the registration, kind of streamline it so that we have a successful event for this year, and we can build and make it better each year with all of the brochures, the applications. Everything looks the same, has the same feel, so that we are able to, again, make sure that we have a successful event.
Okay, so we're on item number 4. So I'm looking for a motion for the volunteer schedule.
I motion a volunteer schedule that the DDA pays a maximum amount of $37.50 for volunteer hours for the specific organization.
So $15 an hour,
Fine.
same as last year. Okay.
Okay, do we have support?
Support.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Next, we have special event application for State of Michigan. I think that is just an
Correct, that's the
informational.
information. I just wanted to put it out there that we did apply for a special event application with the city, so we have the street closure. That also helps give access to the putt-putt, too. We forgot putt-putt, and they open it up, and it's sponsored, and it's a good event. So I didn't want to forget that. And then we have the fire marshal. He's got the plan. We also, I want to mention, I'm going to forget the name of the company, though. Associated Fire Protection did donate the fire extinguishers for us. So the fire marshal made the request that we need, we need those because we have cooking apparatus and all that around. So I do want to give them some special kudos for volunteering and donating those fire extinguishers to us for the day. That was one of the requirements of the fire marshal, and I reached out to the company to help us with the event. So that, and then also the state of Michigan, again, it is a process to go through so that we have all the requirements so that we can sell the alcohol at the event. So that's just information. And then, again, the city open house, which John covered, but it's a big community festival day. And we've got the Touch a Truck event. The fire station is going to have events out on the front lawn. The police station's going to be out by their garage here at the back on the south side of the building. So it's going to be a big day for families to come out. The Touch a Truck event is a great event to allow kids to come and climb and touch all the DPW vehicles. And we had hoped, of course, that the fire station would be completed, and it's not. But we're still going to kind of have an offshoot out on the front lawn for that. So we're hoping for good weather and a lot of people come enjoying those open house events. So.
All right, thank you, Matt. Next item is the rock wall bouncer, which is 8B3, number 7.
Yes. So that is in your packets there. I have to get to it too. So John has it too, I believe. It's right. So here. But
Yeah, this is like a kid's bouncer / rock wall for, kids to climb. The company that comes out, they man it, they set it up, they man it, and they tear it down. And total cost on that with travel is $23.60. If you remember last year, we did have this company scheduled to come out because the weather wasn't going to be feasible, and they did not charge us any deposit or penalty or anything last year. They're very gracious of that. So we were able to save on that. So we went back to them to see if they wanted to do it again.
Do they have like an age limit for this or a size limit? Do you know? Like, is that something that they post?
I would imagine.
Okay.
I would imagine that's true. I just don't know what that is.
Okay.
So a motion is in order to carry that.
Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, so that's Mark.
Second.
Lori has supported. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Next, we have the S&B tent rental.
Yeah, this will cover all of the tents, tables, chairs, staging, all that has to do with everything as far as coverage and zones go.
I support that.
Okay.
Motion then?
So we have,
I motion it.
okay.
Yeah.
Do we have support?
I will support you.
There you go. Thank you.
Okay. I have a question though.
Oh, I'm sorry, one more question. Is you sure they need 16 cocktail tables, not 15? Okay.
So, so I see here we do have solid white side walls. So, like, I think last year, because it was a little rainy, we didn't quite have enough coverage with that. So are we gonna have more this year?
Yeah, this sidewall should cover the areas that we need.
Okay.
Plus, the state of Michigan's pretty fickle about making sure we keep the beer inside the tented zone. So we have to put up signage for that and also have a way so they can't just take off with a
Okay.
beverage in their hand.
All right. So, we're gonna take a vote on that. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Next, we have Bob's Sanitation Service.
Can't have a party without this, so this is standard, including the wash stations for the chili area, so that we can keep it sanitary and proper according to the health department. Motion is in order.
Well, I will make that motion. We definitely have to have this.
Okay. So do we have
I'll support.
Okay. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. I just have a quick question. Are all of these, like, physically challenged accessible?
6 are ADA and 4 are regular.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you. Last item for the festival is the beer distributors.
Can't have a beer tent without the product, so this is West Side Distributing. They've done our event in the past. They also supply us with a trailer with the taps on the outside. It's a refrigerated trailer. It'll be on site Friday and set up for Saturday. And the total is listed in the invoice there, $4294.6. Also, if there's any untapped kegs, they will refund us that money. And also, we get refunded for the deposits.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Support?
Support.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 9-0.
I didn't get the motion maker, I'm sorry.
Oh, Jacobs.
All right, thank you.
Denise, I did have a couple other things before we move off the chili cook-off.
Okay.
And this is probably for John. Lieutenants, Billy Smith is going to be one of the judges instead of Lieutenant Cover. And also, we have our Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, is coming in. She's going to be a guest judge, and she's also bringing a mobile Secretary of State office, trailer or truck or table, so people will be able to renew license and other information. I'm waiting for a flyer from Lansing. When I get that, I'll get it out to either you guys or you and Zach King, and we'll get that out so everybody can, if they need to renew a license, their license plate tabs, all that stuff, they will be available to do all that. And they will be here from 11 to 4.
Do you know where they're going to be able to position that? Is it going to be
Yes,
central, or?
I think because they need electricity, I believe we're going to put them kind of behind the beer tent, or not behind, but
On central, like,
no, on the other side. More by where the
by the-
beer trailer, but on the west side.
okay.
Because apparently they have a van. They don't have the big trailer anymore, so all they need is a 8-foot table they're bringing. We're providing them with a 10-by-10 canopy and electricity, extension cord, and they're going to set all that up.
It's after my birthday, I can't renew at that time.
Yeah. And then also priority is donating our garbage cans. The cardboard ones that we use, I think 25 of them or something, a few $100,
They're
but
bringing us a dumpster too?
I don't know if they're doing that. I'll check with them.
Key is, are they going to pick them up after?
Yeah, so in the past, we've had GFL, 20-yard dumpster that we put over next to the dumpster enclosure, just to, consume all that trash, because it's quite a bit.
Is GFL doing that, or did you want me to check with priority?
That's who we've used in the past, but with, the changeover in the city, I wasn't sure if we wanted to cross
I'll
that.
reach out to priority.
GFL does the dumpsters, right?
What's that?
GFL does the dumpsters? Oh, Priority does the dumpsters too?
I'll check with priority since I'm talking to them every day anyways.
All right.
Wait a minute, one second. Can you clarify what services she's going to do? Will it be all the licenses, like the,
I don't know
IDs,
exactly.
we
They're
don't know.
supposed to get me
Flyer.
a flyer with all the information. I talked to her today. They were supposed to get it to me, so I would expect within the next day or two we'll have it.
okay. And
But typically, when we used to do the one out here for Shred Day, it would be driver's license, tabs. I don't even know what else.
They
Just
took
wondering
in
'cause of the-
passport applications, I think, before, too.
They
Yeah, I
do
don't-
title transfers? Maybe?
Again, I don't know. As soon as she gets me the flyer, I guess we can email it to everybody, and like I say, it'll be out on the website and everything else.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people that want the enhanced ID or real ID, so that
I would imagine that'll
would be
be,
a big pull,
right,
right? So it would be important to know that.
yep. That way they can bring their information too, so they're
Right.
not coming.
They're close to home to run back and get what they forgot.
Okay. Next item we have is the Christmas tree.
Yes, again, weather is nice now, but we do need to start preparing for winter. This is for English Gardens. They store our tree for us, and so this is to make a recommendation for the setup and takedown and storage of the tree for $7546.10. That is before you, and I would like to make that recommendation that we continue with the service they provide us.
Do we know, is this higher than last year?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, we might be able to
Hold
tell
on,
you.
let's see.
real quick.
I'm just curious if it went up.
What's on page 2 then, if it is?
Seems like it went up a little bit, if I remember right.
One is for setup, one is for tear down.
Yes,
So there's 2 separate contracts.
yes. For a total, that's the total, though.
Right.
Oh, okay, I got it.
The total's 7,000, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
7546.
I'll make the motion for English
I think it
Gardens for
did
the
go up a little.
tree, this
Okay.
$7,546.10.
I'll
Okay.
support.
Okay.
But the storage is also for them if there's anything that's broken that they fix as well.
Yes, and they kind of, they clean it too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Ornaments or anything that's broken?
So we have a motion and support. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 9-0. Next is other business, Lucky Squirrel update.
Yeah, in your packet, you received a,
Oh, it's at their places.
what's that?
It's at their places.
Yeah, it's the separate handout.
Yeah, it's sitting right here. This is just an update on the P and L, what we've took in and what we've expenditured. September 21st is our third and final Lucky Squirrel. It is full for vendors. Actually have quite a bit of a waiting list going. But the event's been very successful. You can expect another 900 from sanitation for the next event, and probably a little bit more income, but not much. So that's just an update for you.
So that was just information we had, and then the flower baskets irrigation, they all look good. We've had a few, irrigation issues throughout the summer, that as soon as Gary identifies it, we get on it to make sure that they're all receiving irrigation. So I just wanted to give you an update that they've all made it. So that's a plus for us. You know that what is, I think, great at Barson's is that they always hold a couple extra in case some kind of die off, and we didn't need to do that. So he does that really out of the kindness of his business, but we've been able to keep them all going this year. So that's a good thing. I think the rains helped too. It's not been such a dry drought year also, so.
Yeah, we did shut off the irrigation to a lot of that because we've had so much rain. It's just redundant, not necessary. So save a little water
Let's
bill
hope
money.
we'll save a little bit on water.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Moving on, public comments for general non-agenda items only. Anybody? Oh, I'm sorry.
Can I say something on the public comments?
We'll do it at the table comments.
We get our table.
Yeah. This is for public only. Anybody wishing to speak?
This is our turn. Trustee.
Oh, I see. Hello.
One, I would like to ask if the DDA can schedule some kind of presentation to council in regard to the new businesses downtown on a regular basis, that we get some kind of report from you guys also, because quite often I'm approached and asked, hey, what's going in here? And my answer has to be, I don't know, I'll find out. So if we could have that information ahead of time, and also regarding vacancies, that sort of thing. The other thing I'd like to ask the entire board to consider is to amend your agenda, because to more closely follow city council agenda. You have public comments for agenda items only at the top of your agenda before you guys talk about anything, giving the audience no chance to get up. When you vote on action items, you do not ask for any public comment. Nobody sitting out here has any opportunity to discuss with you the things that are on your agenda. So if that could be changed, that would be terrific. You're a public entity. The public is allowed to come in here and speak to you. I would like the opportunity to be able to speak on an action item before it's voted on. Thanks.
Anyone else?
Good evening. I'll just reiterate that. It's hard to make a public comment when your notice for your meeting, your agenda, does not include any information like the city council meeting does. So we don't know what to expect because we haven't received anything. So switching the public comments for agenda items only would be very beneficial, I think. And along those lines, I would like to know, if anybody can speak to it, why the chili cook-off was moved to September, and also who makes up the chili cook-off committee. I don't know if you want to entertain that or not. Thank you.
I'll answer it under my comments.
Okay. Anyone else wishing to speak? Okay, move on to the director's report.
I don't have anything to add from the busy agenda. It was a lot of work to put this together. But I did want to let you know that the council did make an offer and a contract's been accepted for a city manager that will begin on September 3rd. So Tim Gibbons was selected as the city manager, so I'll be able to go back to my regularly scheduled program as community development director at that time. So, but thank you for working with me during this kind of crunch time. So, thank you.
Thanks, Matt, for continuing to do your job here.
Can't we make a motion to have that, the comments moved to address their concerns about being able to speak about the action items? Because I think if we don't do it now.
It's before agenda items, so it's number 7.
Right,
How much
so how can
further
they
up?
speak about something that they don't know what we're discussing? But I think we have to make a motion, though.
But where would it be? What number would you put it?
We're going to put, when we discuss the action items, that's when they get the information, that's when they want to comment, because
But
how
the
can they
information
comment
is
on
there.
something?
The information's there, no?
No, it's not. Can you look at that? Can you just look at this and know exactly what we're talking about?
They don't get it. They
They don't get the packet. They don't get the packet. They don't know anything that
So
we're,
the number 7, they want it to be after?
right, they want to be able to
Like at number
comment with the items. And I'm saying that I think we need to make a motion to change that so that next month it can be implemented. Because if we wait till next month, and we have to wait another month to do it. What's the question?
So the public comments number 7 would be further down or further up?
Down. It would be with the action items. So after the action items, they could comment.
So
You want to do it just like the council does.
They
So
wanna do it.
Santa Land Parade, for instance, sponsorship.
Okay.
Any comments from the table? We make our
and then same it would be-
general public.
Got it.
Then they can come up and make comment, and then we vote.
Yeah, I motion that. Let's do it.
I second it.
And I support.
Yeah.
So we're going
I
to
just
take
didn't
off-
know where exactly it needed to be, so yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So we're going to take off item 7, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it'll be in the
It's
action
going to be just
item.
like city council.
It'll be like city councils.
Comments
with
from the
each-
table, then
Which
the
is
general
directed by
So,
charter.
so number 10, under public comments would be, it would be,
Non-agenda.
Agenda and non-agenda?
No, it'll be
items?
non-agenda.
Non-agenda.
it would stay non-agenda, just,
At the bottom, because they already had their chance to speak up here when we
Right.
voted, so.
so it's only on
Number 10
non-agenda.
would be non-agenda.
Okay,
So that's not going to change.
So number 7 is crossed, and then number 7 becomes a action item number 1.
Oh, it wouldn't, it wouldn't,
We vote each item.
They'll be able to comment for each item, yeah.
How did they know that there was agenda items to comment about before?
it's online.
It's online.
Well, the agenda only is online. The packet
Agenda,
is
only this
online.
one sheet of paper is online. So they don't have any additional information until we have gone through this and discussed it, and that's what they're learning about it as they're sitting in front of
I think
us.
that's fair. That's fair.
So-
Yeah.
Mr. Miller,
Okay.
can I
So
make a comment? We generally have no more than 10 people, like tonight. So why couldn't we print up 10
I mean,
extra
it's 77
agendas and have them
pages
sit right
tonight.
there? When they come in, they can grab a packet and sit down.
Tonight's packet is 77 pages. That's a lot of items
Well-
And
to
this
be
is, we
handing
can't
out.
put this, it's not a public information?
Well, it is all public information.
Can't we
yeah.
put it in
We
the
don't, our
print?
packet's not normally this thick.
I do,
It's
I
not.
printed for
Not
you.
normal?
It's not normally this thick either.
But
so.
we don't have that many people that show up, so if we had a few out there.
I
That's
can make
just
extras.
A comment, you don't have to do it. I'm just-
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
they
online
can
should be
print it.
fine.
Or put it
They can
online.
just print it if they want to print it.
Yeah,
They can view it when they're sitting on their phones.
yeah. Online, that's good.
Either or.
Save
Or
the
both.
trees.
Okay, so we have a motion and support to remove item number 7 from the agenda and start adding public comment
To each
with
action.
action items.
Correct.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 9-0.
Who was the supporter? Who was the support? It was Walker?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you.
Okay, now we'll move on to trustee board comments. And we'll start with you, Dr. Nazardine. Do you have any comments this evening? Okay. Dr. Hyder?
I do have a comment. It's more of a comment that I've said in the past. Parking lot that is owned by the city, it's in the DDA region. I still don't know if it's city-owned, DDA-owned, or DDA maintained. Really needs to be taken care of. That is north of 298484 Ford Road. It's a parking lot in and of it's by itself. It's pretty much an easement, an entry point to a business that's on there, and there's a lot of holes, and it's not safe. And the problem is all the rubbish of that parking lot goes into to other lots. And trying to maintain that is very, very difficult. So I think the city needs to do something with that lot. And I say it publicly now because it's pretty annoying. I know the guy that owns the other lot.
Okay.
They're not very happy.
Okay.
I can talk to DPW to see if we can get a quote.
The problem with DPW is they just go in just like Wayne County does, and they just shovel it in. And 2 days later, after a rainstorm, it's all up and into another lot.
Okay.
So, I mean, there was a guy that walked in and they said, we have extra asphalt, would you like us to replace, have you seen those
Correct.
people?
Yeah, well, we don't want that.
Right, so I told them, go to the city and ask them if they're willing to do that, but.
Matt, maybe we can get with DPW while Al's is in here getting ready to do Craig and Moeller and see if they give us a quick quote on doing something with that.
Okay, I can ask, and that's what I was gonna say, is I can see if we can, get some quotes for the, okay.
They're already in town, so they might be able to do it cheaper.
Mill and fill or something,
Okay.
Okay.
or you could just sell the lot. And somebody else can take care of it for you.
Okay.
Fix it, clean it, and then
All right.
I know somebody that will, so.
Okay.
And that expense is going to fall back on the DDA or the city?
What-
The DDA, so.
Have we determined what that lot is worth? Because I know Dr. Hyder has brought up the issue with that lot so many times. And
It's
I've,
always been patched and Band-Aid and failed Band-Aids.
yeah, I've heard you express that many times, and my heart almost bleeds for you and for me when I drive through there
Okay.
to
We've
take
actually-
Veronica to the dentist.
We've actually had conversations about this a couple weeks ago, me and Mr. Miller, so we're working on a couple of things for that. So I brought it up
Okay.
because I drove past there too. I was like,
Thank you. Moving on to Mr. Walker. Do you have any comments this evening?
I got a question for Mr. Miller. Same as Ms. Dole said, I get asked too, and it is in our DDA district. Can you give an update what's going on with the Orange Jewelers building and Kmart, please?
Well, Orin specifically they're making renovations for commercial space. One of the big items was the chimney. I don't know if you saw that, and that was taken down with a lot of coordination with the utility companies. So they're doing renovations to make it leasable space, commercial space in the downtown. Kmart, we don't have any firm action on that. We did meet last week with a potential developer looking at, of course, more commercial space. We talked about residential with them, but they don't have options, they don't have anything, they just came in as a fact finding. It was the last time, but the real estate agent brought them in, so it's a positive, I think. They weren't sniffing around on their own.
Okay.
So I think that's a
I
positive.
was getting a lot of questions about Orange Jewelers. People thought it was going to get torn down. It's a historical building. They're going to knock it down, so.
No,
Is that a historical building? It's actual.
The Folker building.
Not actually.
For Garden
Not- it
City,
doesn't
for
get
Garden
correct,
City
yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
It's
so,
not a
It hasn't been labeled
not designated.
historical.
Right.
so, but the boarding up did occur. Unfortunately, they did receive some vandalism. The building was left open, and some vandalism did occur. So
At
that's-
Orange?
At Orange, yes. So that
Okay,
was.
so
the
it's
reason.
not getting torn down, it's being renovated, so anybody out there on TV land. Okay, that's all I have.
What's the
Thank you.
price tag on the Kmart lot?
I don't know.
And Lifetime
Last I
still
heard, it
has
was
it?
right around $3 million,
3 million.
give or take.
And Lifetime still has that, right?
As far as I know, yes.
Now it's,
LA Fitness.
Oh, I think
we're going through the table here. So any comments from you?
I'm just on the back end of Randy because those are my questions as well, so
Okay.
just wanted to make sure we had all that.
Anything from you, Mr.?
Nope.
Well,
No?
I do have a concern though, and it comes right back to the chili cook-off. We're not used to having to fill up volunteers after 5 o'clock, and we're lucky to fill them up to 5 o'clock, and we're only 2.5 weeks out. Now, having been responsible for getting volunteers for St. Raphael's Festival, when my husband and I were chair people over there for several years, we start getting volunteers months in advance, right? So if you went to Mass, you heard about it at Mass, you were constantly hearing about volunteering. And I feel like we're almost in the 11th hour, being 2.5 weeks out and having so many empty spots.
We will
We-
do our best.
I think that, well, I really feel like a backup plan needs to be in order, because how do you run that with no volunteers? Not even the whole board volunteers. You know that, I've sat there with you. So,
We'll just have to see how it goes, I guess.
yeah, go to the one.
Community event. Hopefully people in the community will step up.
If not, oh well. That's,
It's success or failure. We will see. Okay. Dr. Clark, do you have anything this evening?
No, well, I had one question. The Orange Jewelers, are they planning on renting that, or are they planning on putting it up for sale? Do you know?
They're making leasable space.
Leasable space?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Are they subdividing it?
Yes, they're doing like a kind of what they call a white box, and then they'll divide as
Whatever-
much space as
whatever comes in,
necessary.
yeah.
Yeah.
Residential up top?
They're planning for commercial, but they've talked about residential also, but they haven't made a final decision, so.
All right.
So I'm sorry, the city's aware of, oh, I'm sorry.
go ahead.
But the city's aware of a demolition permit at this point?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
a demolition permit?
Internal demolition.
And also for the,
At one point there was, but we kind of,
Was the use
pushed
that's
them
not
away, we
permitted.
pushed them away from it. Sheets. But we didn't feel as a city that gas station at Ford and Middlebelt was a real good
Not a good use.
look. We kind of,
Almost 2 acres to build. So it doesn't, it's not, the city didn't do
Okay.
anything.
Right.
Yeah, but it's not good size enough for Sheets anyways. They need about 1.5 acres plus to build a big station. They build massive stations, and they're mainly on highways or freeways. Yeah, I think the ground was contaminated.
Firebird.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Anything else from you this evening? Okay. And Mayor Jacobs?
Yeah, the date was moved to September to get away from some bad weather. We wanted it preferably to later September, but dates were already booked. So I believe after this event, moving into when we get final results and everything, I think we'll be discussing locking down a date later in September for next year before anybody else gets any events moved in there. And that was, again, we're trying to make it more family-orientated, more kids. Last year, we had 0 for the kids because of the weather, so we're trying to move it up a little bit. Nothing was available that we thought would work, so.
Yeah, we voted on that as a board.
And we voted on that as a board, contrary to what some people think, but the board unanimously voted to try it. And like I say, I think going forward to next year, we'll try to make it a little later in September, but before October. The other question was the committee members, which in the past, it's always been usually the DDA director. This year, we have his assistant, and it was always, as far as I know, and Randy could probably vouch for this or confirm it, it was the DDA chairperson, and then this year, I also helped out just because, and then we kind of put it together, and then we brought it to the board.
You brought the committee to the board?
No,
No.
no,
Okay. You said you brought it to the board, and I just wanted to
Well,
clarify.
the people, in the past, it was always typically the DDA director. Back in the day, it was Teresa helped out, and then John Fleming or Bruce Bolin, whoever was the DDA director, would also be in on it, and they would bring all this stuff, just like this, to the board to say yay or nay on. And that's how we did it this year. And I would assume, unless the board wants to do it a different way,
You're only talking about changing the date. I thought you were talking about the committee, so apologize. Two different things.
right. No, I was talking about the committee. The committee, in the
Wasn't brought
past,
Before the board. I don't remember that being brought before the board. But you know, though, I have another question, though.
this is being brought, the 4 people are bringing all the stuff that these guys have done 90% of the work on, just like it's been done in the past. It's nothing new, it's no secret things.
What's the issue here?
Actually, my question was, do you remember why the end of September wasn't available? That's what I was going to ask you.
The 21st or 21st was Lucky Squirrel, and 28th, I believe, was scheduled at the time was a big event down in City Park, which I believe is scaled down now, but we had already made the determination to move it to the 7th, because
Yeah, I know, but we had discussed those dates, and I know with everybody asking,
the 14th was St. Ray Fields.
right, the middle, and then the following one was the Lucky Squirrel, and the one after that was an event at the park.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a real big event, and I think it got scaled back. So, but at the time, it was scheduled for every pavilion, which would have taken away from
Right, we
this
didn't
event.
want to take away
So
from
that's
that
why
event.
that's
Okay.
why we picked the 7th. I think next year,
We're
with
gonna
board
try to-
approval, we're going to try and go with later in September, not in October, though, per what the board would want to do.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
other than that, our judges, we have Chief Randy Keene, Fire Department. We have Lieutenant Smith from the Police Department. We have Joe Barson from Barson's Greenhouse. We have Jocelyn Benson, the Secretary of State. And who is our 5th? I'm drawing a blank.
Ken Buccelli.
Ken Buccelli. So those are the 5 judges this year. So with that, that's all I have.
Okay. And I have nothing this evening, and with that, we can adjourn.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for
See you on the
coming.
7th.